Hello, dear friends. Bad people don't lead happy lives. They may have all the money in the world, but they live in hell because of what they had to do to achieve fame and fortune. Opinion piece. Longing for destiny. Second, Pentecost. Pentecost. Breaking the stagnation. This is not the final stop. Endless adventures await us. The winner's card is coming. Phase of revelations, tension, and changes. Let's start. According to Sierra, we, warriors of light, yearn to reach a destiny. Destiny means the end of waiting, enduring, and suffering. We seek relief from the stress of maintaining the light for humanity, and that relief doesn't come soon enough. However, this experience of the soul on a mission to liberate humanity is much more than the final outcome. This is about the richness of the soul's evolution along the way. Find joy in the journey. We souls reunite with the Source One, from which we are never separated. But before that spectacular reunion, infinite adventures await us. Every choice contributes to the beautiful final structure you will call home. Creating your new life in 5D is much the same. Don't rush. Take your time and enjoy the process. Value and be proud of your progress. We will make it. This is not the final stop, according to Neo. This is a gateway of opportunity for service. Many stars will look to you for answers with the teachings of light. You are the soul that carries that light. The soul never arrives at the destination. The soul is on an infinite journey of discovery. Demanding to know the meaning of life will bring the belief that there is a conclusion. Life flows and expands with the journey through the vast cosmos of timelessness. Visiting souls in many waking dreams throughout the ages of humanity, we have yearned for the meaning and purpose of existence. Reset News. The hard part is coming to an end. The next phase will bring justice. We want a Star Trek ending, not a Terminator one. The swamp waters are clearing, as evidenced by reflecting pool. We know who the bad guys are, because they are the ones who want to censor free speech, says Elon Musk. If I criticize a Jew, I'm anti-Semitic. If I criticize a Muslim, I'm Islamophobic. According to Benjamin Fulford, schools are prisons. They keep children locked up to prepare them for jobs that are prisons. Scientists have discovered that the Earth generates a pulse every 26 seconds, described as its heartbeat. This suggests that Earth is a living being. The quantum financial system cannot be fully activated until the old guard is removed from power. The financial reset requires starting from scratch. According to John Kennedy Jr., the entire planet will go dark to switch to free Tesla energy. If the power goes out, know that we are in control. Don't panic. We are prepared and the resources are ready. The winning card is coming. They are hiding everything from us. Josh Reyes worked for 22 years in the Vatican archives, where he saw the 1,000-year-old archive in which all history is written, from the past to the future. Bill Cooper said this would be the final state of a long plan of control, chaos, and reorganization. The final phase is visible today in crisis, propaganda, censorship, and media manipulation. In his view, the final phase would arrive when the control becomes so evident that it could no longer be denied. Our solitude is preparing us for the fulfillment of our dreams. We are the best generations of all time to experience the second Pentecost, and receive the greatest number of gifts ever given. Incredible things are happening. T-Time predicts that the full moon in Scorpio on May 1st, 2026 brings revelations, the exposure of secrets, and an intense phase. Current world events are part of a process of awakening, with chaos following or a positive reorganization. We are entering a state of revelations, tension, and structural changes. Decline. Michael Snyder presents a list of 12 signs that show an accelerated deterioration of society. He insists that cultural, moral, and institutional decline has been progressing for years, and that the symptoms have intensified in 2026. He highlights the increase in shootings, the presence of increasingly violent people, and episodes of criminality as signs of social disorder. He also states that the legalization of assisted suicide reflects a negative perception of the elderly and an erosion of the social value of life. A collective awakening is taking place, according to the Syrian Council, through Celia Wilder. This awakening is a powerful force that cannot be easily suppressed. The veil is now thin enough for this awakening to be happening on a massive scale, with waves of insight and understanding flooding the collective consciousness. The change you are experiencing is part of a divine intervention already underway. The challenges you face are not obstacles. They are opportunities for profound growth and transformation, both individually and collectively. Economy. The stock market just had its best month ever. Robert Kiyosaki says the best time to get rich is coming soon, in quotes. Deutsche Bank predicts gold will reach $8,000 in 2031. Oil reaches its highest level in 4 years. Brent crude opens with a downward trend to $110.68. The constant rise in oil prices is pushing markets to the brink of collapse. Iran's oil wells are on the verge of collapse. When storage tanks and tankers are full, Iran will be forced to shut down its wells. This would cause internal explosions, damaging its extraction capacity. If they rebuild, it would only be 50% of what is now. The vicious cycle of debt has just reached a point of no return. Rising debt and the conflict with Iran are increasing risks to the economy. Humanoid robots enter the workforce. China loses its monopoly on the rare earth elements. Middle East. The Iranian currency hits a record low. 70% inflation, mass layoffs, and strangled economy in Iran. The US may try to break the stalemate in the war by force. Orthodox Jews protest against mandatory military service. Former Mossad chief says settler violence poses an existential threat to Israel. Syria relies on Russian oil despite its shift towards the West. USA. Missile destroyer loses power and propulsion due to an on-boat fire. Republicans are alarmed by the consequences of the war against Iran. North Carolina just confirmed that they found 34,000 deceased people in their voter registration list. Epstein may have used poisonous plants to manufacture a drug that suppressed the free will of his victims. The Fed chairman refuses to leave the board after his term ends. A massive lithium deposit in Appalachia could power 130 million electric vehicles. Canada's education minister says parents have no rights over their children. Europe. Europe launches its own alternative to Visa and MasterCard. Europe will not lift the ban on tokenization. The ECB doesn't touch interest rates, but wartime inflation is consolidating. The activists from the flotilla detained by Israel have been transferred to Crite's capital. The EU calls for preparations for kerosene shortages if the Strait of Hormuz blockade continues. Trump threatens to withdraw US troops from Germany. The Atlantic Alliance falters as the US and Europe fail to reach an agreement. The largest hoard of Viking coins ever found has been discovered in Norway. The British government promises more restrictions on social media. The European Parliament is pushing to cut funding for the Patriots group founded by Orbán as the witch hunt continues. Spain. Spain avoids the collapse in electricity prices in Europe. Repsol raises a 1.6 billion euros anti-crisis shield. Trump says he could withdraw troops from Spain and Italy over their stance on Iran. Migrants are literally climbing the walls of Spanish embassies. Americas. El Jardinero, one of the local leaders of the Jalisco cartel, is arrested in Mexico. The Senate rejects a resolution that would have forbidden attacks on Cuba. Venezuela and Colombia join forces against regional crime. Increased Venezuelan oil exports protect the US from the energy crisis. The US sends one of its aircraft carriers to Ecuador. Fujimori's party is emerging as the most powerful in Peru. Journalist Sebastián Salgado reports on a plan that would allow the resettlement of up to 300,000 Israelis in Argentina. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.